Right guys, currently out fishing, filming another vlog. The one that you're about to watch was a lot longer, had a lot more content, but like an absolute tit, I accidentally deleted some of the footage and I can't get it back. So yeah, enjoy.
Morning guys, it is now 4 o'clock in the morning. Got one in the sling. Literally it's just gone in the sling. Just put some more bait out. Wedgie. And redid the rig because the hook point was absolutely knackered after that fight. It's a common, and I'm pretty sure it's the common I had last week. It's got a very similar marking on it, but we'll see in about half hour, 45 minutes. It's getting light very quickly. I'll go sit down. Got a fair bit of sleep last night, so I'm not as knackered as what I normally would be. Oh, hay fever was killing me last night though. But yeah, anyways, I will see you guys half hour, 40 minutes on the mat with the fish, and we will confirm whether it's the common I had last week. If it is, crikey, the fish can't resist the bait, so yeah, we'll have a mooch. Right, so I'm not sure if this is the one I had last week. Just to go through the footage and let you guys know. We'll get it weighed up and everything anyway. But even so, it's a cracking common. Got quite a recognisable mark on the other side here. So we should be able to easily tell if it's the same one. If it is, it loves the bait. Yeah, corker. Lovely carp. Right, let's have a look at the other side. Not a bad one at all. I do love a common. But did I catch you last week? Soon find out. Looks like he's been through some spawning. Yeah. Happy days, at least we're off the mark. Mosquitoes are trying to have me. Right, let's get him weighed up and get him straight back. Lovely times. Right, turns out different fish, but both have got a scar on one side. I can only imagine an otter's tried to grab it, or a cormorant speared it when it was small. I don't know, but the one I had last week at 27 looked like an otter that like sort of grabbed its lips like many years ago. And this one had immaculate lips. The one last week was 27 pound, and it was quite short and like really wide. This one was a lot longer and a bit thinner on the shoulders, and it was 26. So yeah, I'm happy to say it's two different fish. That's to really zoom in on the markings, and on the one I just had, the scar sort of goes up diagonally. On the other one it was more of a circle, banging them like, well, towards the back edge of it really. And the colouring as well. The one I just put back is a lot lighter, and the other one was quite a dark fish. Yeah, decided to absolutely soak me. Fun times. So I'm gonna zip up to the motor and get me spare trousers, and then get a couple hours kip, I think. Yeah, a couple hours kip. Wake up, zip the rods in, pump some bait out for the day ahead, think I'm going to come off the zig. It's just not. Bugs. Yeah, it's just not doing anything for me. Just don't feel confident in it, and obviously I haven't caught on it. So I think I'm going to have 2 rods over the island, but far enough apart that they won't sort of inconvenience each other, like over a rod length, so maybe like 14-15 foot apart, and sort of just put bait in a line. So I've got a good chance of, if they come. Lens cap. So we'll have one like here, and the other one we'll have right on the edge, so they're far enough apart that if something comes this way I can pick it up, and if something comes around that way I'll pick it up. That's the theory anyway. Oh, crikey. Sort my little beard out. But yeah, I'm gonna grab some trousers quickly. Oh, and then have a couple hours kip. See you guys in a bit. Off the mark. Doing well. Yes. Oh, what another glorious, sunny, warm day. Changed my t-shirt. Had a little bit of a hooker wash with some wet wipes. Fresh deodorant. We're feeling good. A little bitten to high heaven. Got those mozzie coils that you burn. It seemed to work. There was a lot less mosquitoes than last week when I didn't have any of the coils. But as soon as you pop outside and you're away from the smoke of it, they absolutely nail you. But who cares? I'll take a couple of mozzie bites to catch a carp anytime. So we're off the mark. I haven't put any bait out. Just gonna rest the swim again. Take Bear for a nice long walk. See if we can spot some carp. What I want to do this year, to be fair, I've never really done it much, is get like a little surface set up, like a, almost if they do I don't know if they do, to be honest, but like a hybrid between a stalking rod and a surface rod. Maybe have to get one of those Nash scope things, or one of the sonic extractors or whatever. Just one of them extractor. Is it extractable or retractable? One of the two. The rods that fold out. Come on, come on. Yeah, and start having a walk around when it's hot like this and see if I can catch a couple. But yeah, I'm going to carry on with this walk, and I'll chat to you guys in a bit. Right guys, whilst I'm resting the swim and it's really hot out there, I'm going to prepare a bit more bait. So as you saw in that clip before, we've got some edge pellets, which are these. Lovely jubbly bubblies. The carp absolutely go mental for them. Keeps them grubbing around for ages, these do, so we're going to have some of that. And also some of these, which are the Royal Marine pellets, slightly bigger, and the carp go mad for them as well. The reason I chose these over the Atlantic Heat, which is my all-time favourite, is just these are a bit darker, so the birds don't see them as easy. On top of that, we're going to be putting some of this, the hot fish oil. Used this stuff for years, it's absolutely fantastic, does the job. And we've got a little bag of Royal Marine 15mm freezer baits, which I'm going to crumb up and put in as well. So let's add our pellets first. I'm not going to put too much in the bucket, and I'll explain why in a second. So just 4 scoops of that. Right, and then what I do, I don't have one of the crushing devices or anything like that. I just do it with my hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crumb up a load of this into here, and then I'll come back to you guys once that's done, because it's going to take a little bit of time. So see you in a second. Hey presto, we're done. Right, so before I add any of the oil, just got a nice mix around, so all the bits that were in it before, it's all nice and mixed. So the reason I'm not having any sort of big whole boilies in there is because, as you can see, once the little crumbs take on the oil, they go nice and dark, same as everything else in there. It goes nice and dark, apart from obviously the fresh bit of boilies you can see in there, and it's a bit harder for the birds to see. So now we've got that like that, crack open this bottle of divine liquid. Wants to open. Yeah, there we go. And we give them a good helping. So that probably looks like a lot being poured in. And you can see from there. Let's turn it that way. So it's say just under halfway. Again, might seem like a lot, but I want it to soak into the baits as well as sit on top and glazing as well. The reason I'm not filling the bucket up the whole way is because, as you can see, it's a lot easier to mix it when there's not a full bucket load. And also, well, don't get me wrong, there's nothing that's going to go, once the oil's on it, going to go mouldy over time, but it's just a good habit to get into, to only prep the amount of bait you're going to use per session, or per 24 hours, or however you want to go about it, because doesn't take long, as you can see, to knock it all up, get it ready. That's going to sit for a good few hours before I put any of it out. Let some of that draw in. I'd normally add powders to it, but I haven't got any with me. I ran out last week, but that is plenty. It's caught me this session. So yeah, that's the mix, guys. You've seen the ingredients going into it. It catches carp. Product plug here, but go check out Baitworks. And yeah, if you don't have any nuisance fish like tension bream in the lake, get on the pellets, get on a nice tiny bed of bait, get them grubbing around, especially if you're going to be hitting the same swim every time. It's definitely working for me, so it'll work for you. Check them out. Of course, certainly warming up. I've seen one sort of boil the surface, whether they're taking a fly or just showing a little bit. So because I've seen that, I've just stuck the zig out, not really near where it was. I had a cast about near where it showed, but it's proper weedy, and with the wind, I don't want the wind blowing into the zig and all that mumbo jumbo. So I've cast in an area where I've got a FUD down, so yeah, hopefully there's a few sort of mooching about in the area. We'll see what happens. I'm not really confident in zigs, but I know if it's like a single bleep, you've got to kind of hit it. So that's the only rod I've got out. I'm not putting the ones that I'm fishing on the deck out until probably about 3-4 o'clock, maybe a little bit later, after I put some bait out. But yeah, in the meantime, I decided to stick a bomb in my bucket. If anyone knows me personally, you know I'm a massive fan of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super and all stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? But I like it. Right, I'm going to lay back and enjoy this weather. Just stood in the sun for a minute and it felt like my skin was burning, so I sit in the bivvy in the shade. I've got all the vents open so some air can pass through. Gonna relax and yeah, I look forward to tonight. See what happens. Catch up with you lovely jubbly people in a bit. Right, the rods have been out of the water for a fair while now. I've stuck some bait out. It is now, let me see, it's 3:30. I'm just getting everything rigged up and ready to go. I've taken the zig off. It's just not doing me any favours, but I've seen a couple of, 2 seconds, quite close around here. So, for the first time in a long time, tied up one of these bad boys. Yeah. The water's quite warm and it's quite deep in that little spot. I'm going to the spot that was close in, which I leaded the other week and it was a bit weedy, but it was a bit soft. But I'm going to put maybe 10 bombs of pellet out and then stick this over the top, so hopefully it will sort of sit on top of any maybe silkweed or anything like that out there. And then if the fish do come patrolling across the margins, the smell of this should draw them in. That's the plan. And then my face, yeah, I'm not going to put 2 rods by the island, just going to keep one there. If it's a case of just getting 1 bite at a time, that's fine by me, but I don't want to get a bite and have another rod so close to it that it might run into the line and cause me all sorts of drama. So I'm going to have 1 by the island, 1 out here and 1 close and down here, so then I'm covering a diagonal line passing fish. Yeah, it's warm. We're due to have a thunderstorm apparently today now. Just been checking the weather app, but what I'm going to do is get this wrapped up to where it needs to be, stick some bait out, take Bear on his last stroll for the day, and then yeah, aim to be fishing by about 5 o'clock when it starts to cool down and the fish start to move in, I guess, hopefully. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to do that and we'll catch up with you soon. Ooh-wee. Back in the swim, everything is going perfectly. Touch wood. Wait a sec. Touch wood. Every rod went out first time, even with this crosswind of doom. But yeah, it went out lovely. So I'm happy, confident. Seen some fish earlier on. Obviously that's why I've done the rod close in with a solid bag. Didn't really feel much on that, but like I said before, when I put the marker lead out, it was quite soft, so I don't know whether it was like shingle gravel and something's fed on the bait I was putting there prior to last week and kicked up the silt or whatever, or whether a bit of weeds drifted over it. Either way, that solid bag has got a 3-ounce flat pair inline lead with, I've set it up inline drop-off system, so you just plug the swivel, put the line on the outside and then the tail rubber with a load of pellet in it and a load of liquid in there as well. So that's heavy. Cool, excuse me. That is heavy, so hopefully it will push down on anything that's protruding off the bottom. Left rod went out lovely, it just went crack. That's what we want. And the middle rod cracked down as well, so yeah, I'm confident. But the pressure's off because I've caught already, so the pressure is absolutely just not there now. If I don't catch from now, I don't catch from now. It's just one of them. That's why we call it fishing and not catching. Obviously it's going to be nice if I have another one, but I'm not feeling the pressure. That's one thing when you do the videos, a lot of the time you just sort of, without even realising it, you put yourself under so much pressure to catch because you feel the video is going to be rubbish. So yeah, it's nice to sort of be off the mark on this lake. The account's open with some lovely fish as well. I mean, that mirror I had, absolute belter. And there's some in here that make that look rubbish. Yeah, there's one called the Up Front. That fish, one of the best looking carp in the country in my opinion. The little Lynn as well, it's a cracking carp. And the big Lynn, if she's still in here, could be a 50. Yeah, there's also a big common, I think they call it white tips. I think it's called white tips, and that's a 40 plus. And I love commons. I really love commons. It's nice to get the odd mirror, but I think where I was on Raysbury, there's so many mirrors that are like, they all just look the same. So when you get a common, it's like, yeah, it's nice. But
yeah, the mirrors in here, they all kind of look different, which is good. So yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling. I'm gonna make Bear's dinner. You hungry? Yeah, you're always hungry, aren't you? Gonna make his dinner, and then I'm gonna hold off on mine. I'm not really that hungry. It's been too hot today, so I'm gonna hold off on mine and yeah, just enjoy the evening. If anything else happens, or if I spot anything, I'll let you guys know straight away. See you in a bit. Oh, it's slowly getting dark, but the lake flat calm like this is perfect for spotting activity, and there's been a fair bit. There's been some down in the corner down there. I think Dale's jumped in that corner from down there. He said he's seen one show, so hopefully he has one. I've seen a bit of activity in front of me. Got one keep going in front of the rod tip, so I've just chucked some pellet out, probably about 10-15 yards just down there. If I see some bubbling, I'll zip the right rod, which was the solid bag rig, and just lower it on the spot, see what happens. Yeah, it's still warm, but I'm hoping it cools off a little bit, because the old Matt's a bit hot, bless him. But yeah, this is probably the last you'll see of me, unless I catch one in the next, say, hour or two. Oh, 3 or 4 to be fair, because it's still it's 9 o'clock. So yeah, if I do have one, it'll probably be in the night or the early hours now. We'll see. We shall see, we shall see. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as and when. Well, how about that? I was having a nice lay in. I heard a I was like, oh, better go investigate. Bobbin was off. Rod tip was sort of still, and then I watched it and then it twitched a little bit. I was like, okay, hit it. And then this was on the end. Lovely little mirror. Only a baby, but a very, very fine example of what the future holds for this lake. Stunning carp. I know I say that about mostly all of them, but he's a cracker. Alright, let's have a look at the other side. So there's the other side. This carp, when it's going to be 30 plus, it's going to be amazing. A few years yet, but certainly on its way if it's munching the baitworks. Cracking example. Very nice fish. Alright, let's give it a little weigh and we'll get her back. Rod straight back out and hopefully we'll have another one. A cracking little one. I'm coated in absolute everything. Alright, just stuck about 10 to 12 dot spots of pellet out, and now I have got minimal left again. So, more up. I'm not going to put the rod out just yet because I don't know if you'll be able to see. I've got drifting weed bed, and there's one a bit further just over here. So I'm going to wait for them to sort of drift over, and to be honest I might just take the dog for a stroll and rest the swim again. We've had another bite, so it could be an hour or two before they turn back up. They might not even turn back up till later this evening, but I'm going to keep an eye on the spot, which I'm doing now, and I can't tell if that's bubbles coming up or if it's a bit of floating weed. I need to get myself a set of binoculars. Set of Bino Carlars. Yeah, I'm gonna knock this bait up, watch the water for a bit. Gonna get the rod wrapped up, new lead, so on and so forth, ready to go. If I do see some bubbling out there, I'll just stick one spom out, scare them away, and then quickly get the rod out and try and avoid these floating weed beds. But yeah, happy days. I've had another one. It's working well for me. The bait change tactic seems to work. And if you haven't got any nuisance fish in your lake, i.e. tench and bream, just stick a load of pellet out. Especially this time of year, if they've spawned as well, it's full of protein, absolutely full of protein, and it's so good for them. And as soon as they start munching it, that's all they want. Oh, right, it's 20 to 2. Just stuck the rods back out. Just before I stuck the left rod out, I saw a load of bubbling and fizzing. I don't know whether it's a fish moving through the weed or whether it was a fish feeding. But I waited for it to stop and then stuck the rod out. PVA bag, solid bag on the right hand rod. I've just put 2 rod lengths out, if that, in the margins, because they've been patrolling along there, so maybe pick one up across there, and the middle rod just out in open water in a deep spot. Not put any bait around the middle rod because I put a load of boilies in a catapult out there, and I haven't had a bite off that spot, so chances are them boilies are still there. If not, they're sort of broken down. But I put some pellets out there as well yesterday, and I've topped up the left rod spot. God, I'm itching. So yeah, it is really warm. So I'm not expecting anything. If something does happen, then happy days. I'm not expecting anything until it cools off, until about 6 or 7 o'clock, because that's when I've been getting the bites and everything anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna lay back and sit in the shade. I'm all red and flustered. Change my t-shirt again because I was sweating like mad in the black t-shirt. But hey ho, we've caught, like I said, pressure's off. So hopefully have another one. It's always nice to have a few, isn't it? But yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Oh, depressing. Oh well. Come on, you Carp. Morning, you lovely bunch. Oh, I could not sleep last night. It was weird. I wish it was because of fish, but it weren't. But oh, I've just been napping this morning because there's not a lot been going on. Excuse me. So I'm going to slowly start packing away and go home happy because we've had a couple. We always get greedy, don't we? And we always want more, but I'm not disappointed. I've done well. The weather's been a bit up and down. The wind's now switched back around. Hang on. And it's blowing back down here again, but at one point it was going that way and then back up that way. Now it's gone that way again. So yeah, always goes a bit dead for me when the weather is not consistent or it switches around quite a lot. Don't know why that is, but it is what it is. Righto, I'm going to start packing away, and then when everything's on the barrow, I'll sign off for you guys. I'm going to leave the rods as long as possible because you never know. Woo, that's it from me. Sweaty Betty. Gears on the barrow, ready to go in the old race car. Oh, it's a good session. I enjoyed it. It's really hot. Got a bit of an old tanny tan. Tanny tan tan. Yeah, it's good to be consistent. It's good to keep catching. It's good that they're liking the bait, like the bait way. The tactics of the bait, so coming away from the whole boilies and the pellets. Obviously there's no nuisance fishing here, and carp love pellets. Full of protein, they're so good for them, and it was, better stop it mate. And that's it.
good idea on my behalf. Blow my own trumpet. Pop my colour. Yeah. I'm going to get home. A very, very well deserved shower. Maybe a little victory Mackey's on the way back. And yeah, I look forward to the next one. I think next week I'll probably have a miss off of fishing. It's due to be really hot. It's a mate's birthday as well, so have a bit of social time. I don't normally fish too much in the summer. I only really come this weekend. I nearly come this weekend because it wasn't gonna be too hot. I only come this weekend because it wasn't gonna be too hot. It turns out it was really hot. So yeah, but yeah, we're still catching. I'm really happy. I need to try and figure out a way of getting the right rod and the middle rod sort of in action, because it's just not happening on them for some reason. It's a bit weird, but I'm just going to be consistent with that, because you never know. It might just be a case of them discovering that there's bait there, feeding on it. I mean, I've put a fair bit of bait out before yesterday, so on Friday I put a fair bit of bait out on that area and then didn't really top it up much. So there's a lot of bait sitting out there. I say a lot, it's probably about a kilo and a half, and then a load of pellet. So we'll see. I know they're clean spots. The rigs are all coming in clean every time, so it's just a matter of waiting. And at the same time, they can take their time if they need to fish and to feed on that area, and for me to catch off of it, because I'm still being consistent in one of my spots. But ideally you want all the spots going. It might not be a feeding zone, it might just be like a travelling zone for them, but the deck is clean, so it tells me at some point something has fed there. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Right, that is it from me. That's going in there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Horsefly's trying to attack me, bugger off you git. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you haven't seen my previous one, I'll put a link up here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you playing at? Button here. Right, see you guys on the next episode of Lake Life. See you in a bit.